So as we already know, we have a new version now, 3.7.5. So we'll be discussing about the new enhancements which we have done in the 3.7.5 version. Coming towards the first enhancement which we have done on the process action page. Now you can see while doing the processing on the from the mobile page, we have new options available called to add case notes, alerts, and incident reports. So while you process the action, you will see all these buttons in front of the process action icon, and you will be able to add the case notes, alerts, and you can also view the clients at one glance. Now the user have the ability to add the documents for the progress notes and the case notes. So when you click on the process action, you will be able to redirect to this page, and then you have the option to tick this icon over here. Once you tick this icon, you have to click on the process button, and then you will be redirected to another page where you will be able to add the progress notes and the attachment for the progress notes. I will quickly go and show you how you can add the notes and the attachments. So when you go and process any action, this is saved from the mobile page as well. So I'll just write any on, and you can see we have the option over here available. So just click on this one, then you can add another case note test. So you have to click on the submit, and then once you click on submit, you will be able to attach documents. So once you click on attachment, you can simply drag and drop the files as well, and then the documents will be linked to the case notes. And you can simply close, and that's it. We have done another enhancement on the relaxed allocation rules. Now the user will be able to ignore the additional resource skills required as well. So for example, if there is any service line item which requires...
Can I just say something, sorry?
Yes, yep.
Sorry, I'm working off of a laptop and the screen is so tiny I can't even actually see what you're clicking on. Like I can't read the words on that at all.
Is it for everyone, or is it better now?
Better now. It could still be a tad better as well.
It could be a little bit bigger, thanks.
You can zoom in yourself. There's a little camera, and then there's a percentage. You can just hit ++ and it will make it better.
Yes, I did that. Yes, it's worked better, that one.
Sorry, thank you.
Yep, it's all good now?
Yes, thank you.
All good. So let's continue on the slide. Yeah. So we have added another enhancement on the relaxed allocation rules. Here now the user will be able to relax the allocation rules by ignoring the additional resource skills. So if any resource have additional skills required, for example, first aid certificate or the team leader, and you are not able to find the resource when you are generating the optimized list, you can simply click on this option and the system will ignore this rule, and you will be able to allocate the resources who have additional skills selected as well. Now we have a team leader allowances as well. This is configurable and could be turned on for the clients, where you can add the team leader allowances, and you will see a validation if you add the hours more than the shift hours. Now on the bulk approval page, we have also added a new warning message, where if there are any rejected items which came for reapproval and you are doing the bulk approvals, you will see this message that you have to make sure when you are bulk approving the rejected items, you make sure you are doing it correctly, because we strongly recommend approving such items individually rather than doing the bulk approval. This is something configurable as well, and this could be turned on for the clients. On the bulk approval page, we are now also showing the travel time for the resources. And under the break and the allowances, we have this option to add the travel time. So if you have added any travel time on the page, you will be able to see the travel time under the allowances variance tab. Coming to the short notice cancellation, now the user will be able to do the short notice cancellation, and only the services which are eligible for the short notice cancellation will be claimed. We have also made the amendments on the reoccurring action. Now the user will be able to update the description of the reoccurring action. And once the details have been updated, for example, if you want to change the name of the reoccurring action, all the future actions, the name will be changed for the reoccurring action. And then all the actions which you can see on the main reoccurring page will be shown as with the new name. Any questions? All good. Let's move to another section, admin and resource manage enhancement. Now we have added the following warning messages while making the location inactive. So if when you are trying to make any location inactive, the system will check if there are any items linked to the location, or if there are any resources who have their contract location set up as the same location. So we have quite few validations while making the location inactive. So for example, I'm trying to inactivate a location A, and I have the resources whose contract location is set up as location A. And when you try to click on inactive, you will see this pop-up saying, before we proceed in activity to this location, you have to first reallocate all the resourcing, having it set it as the contract location. So you can then go to the organizational chart and fix the resource. Now, the second validation while making the location inactive is if there are any open items, for example, any case files, any case plans, any actions, any quick close, any group activities, or any participation, and if there are any open items, the system will check the following while making the location inactive. And if you click on continue, the system will ask you to make sure you cancel or reallocate or do the following steps before you make the location inactive. And this is validations which will be available on the pages while making the location inactive. If everything is good to go, for example, there are no open items, no link, and anything, you will be able to straight away click on make the location inactive, and there will be no validation, and the location will be made inactive. Similarly with the users, if you try to make any user inactive, for example, any resource you're trying to make the inactive, the system will check again all the validations. For example, if there are any items related to that resource, there are any open items, or this resource has been set up as a contract location in any location, the system will check again and will see in which position the resource have in which location. So to fix this, you have to again go to the subscription admin menu and then go to the organization chart for that location. And you can simply remove the resource from that location or reallocate or rearrange the items which are linked to the resource to another person before making the user inactive. Now, if you want to make any participant inactive, we have a validation over here as well. For example, if there is any case file which is already open, and if there are any items linked to the participant, which means client, the system will check if there are any open case files, and if there is any open case file, the system will show a pop-up saying, please firstly close all the open case files before you inactivate the client. So when you are closing the case file, again, you will be asked, if the system will check if there are any open items, if there are any approved items, what do you want to with those items. Once everything is clear, the system will no longer show any pop-up or the message, and you will be simply able to make the client inactive. We have also added all the warning messages on the skills page for the resource as well. For example, on the contract location, on the pay level, on the pay award, and all the yellow highlighted items. When you are trying to change in the middle of the pay cycle, the system will, we normally don't suggest, and this is I will say a bad use case to do it in between the middle of the pay cycle when users are changing the awards in the middle. So we have make sure we added a warning message, and people must be aware of it without, so while making any changes, they make sure they are doing it correctly. So these are the pages we have shown the warning messages. Now on the skill page as well, we have added an option to add the contracted hours in decimals. For example, when the contracted hour is per pay period, which means fortnightly, and user is adding the contracted hours 74.5 hours, on the roster page and on the pay cycle timesheet approval page, which is on the left-hand side menu of the system, we will show the contracted hour as 74.5 hours from now onwards. Another scenario is when the contracted hour is per roster cycle, for example, for weekly. In this case, when you are adding the contracted hours, for example, 75.5 hours, but this is for weekly. And on the roster page, we will show the contracted hour as 75.5 hours, but on the pay cycle timesheet approval page, we will show it as 37.75 hours because the pay cycle is fortnightly. Now the user will be able to delete and amend the pattern individually as well. And here we have few validations we have added as well. For example, when the users try to delete the pattern from the resource, calendar, or anywhere, the user will be redirected and the system will check if there are any overlapping items or any events are there. For example, if there is any house shift, any action, or any group activity in which resource has been allocated in future according to this availability, the system will check and see and show all the items listed. For example, I'm trying to delete a pattern for week 2, and these are all the related items I have been allocated or it's been linked to me in any way. So the system will ask you first to withdraw, or you will have the option to cancel the items. So once you have selected withdraw or cancel all these items, you will be able to delete the pattern. Similarly, in case with the availability or amending the pattern of the availability, you have to fix this. For example, before amending, you have to check if there are any items and what you want to do with these items. Once withdrawn, these items will be waited for allocation, and you have to allocate these items accordingly. And then you will be able to amend the availability pattern. Once click on submit, you will be able to change the availability pattern. Now coming towards the roster page, we have added a new filter option called show gaps greater than. Here, if you want to see any items which have the gap of more than 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, you can select the option from the drop-down list while clicking on this icon. So now, for example, I have selected 15 minutes over here to show the gaps. And if you can see over here, the first action ends at 12:15 p.m. and another action starts at 1 p.m. So the gap between two is more than 15 minutes, and it will be shown as this red bar over here, which shows the item has a gap of more than 15 minutes. Similarly, on the same page, we have added another filter option called team off. This team off will show all the team leader, for example, level 2 workers in this location you have selected. So once you select the location, you will see all the team leaders. And once you click on this one, it will show you all the resources which are included under that team leader. So all the items related to that resources who been under the team of level 2 worker will be shown over here. This is a very good enhancement, which will allow you to see who is the coordinator, who is the team leader of those resources. We have also broadened up the calendar page. If you can see, we have widened this calendar page in which you will be able to see all the items. Different color has been chosen over here. For example, purple color has been chosen for the leave request, leave shifts, and the pink color for the leave requests, and the green color for the shifts. And similarly for the action, it's blue color. It's already mentioned over here as well. On the pay cycle timesheet approval page, now you will see another icon over here, which says if the worker's pay rate is not defined. So for example, when there is any worker, when you go to the scales and there is the pay rate which is not defined for that worker, there will be red warning shown over here, because sometimes if the pay rate is not defined, the user won't get paid. So we have to make sure that we have a valid pay rate for the resource. So if the resource is missing with any pay rate for that location or anything, the system will show this icon on the pay cycle timesheet approval page. Any questions? Okay. Now moving forward to the group activity enhancement. Now the user have the ability to share the case notes between the clients. This is the mobile page. While doing the attendance, you will see the share case note between the clients over here. And this is something which is configurable to make it mandatory. So for example, if you want this this functionality to be mandatory, you can let us know and we'll do it for you. Now we have added the relaxation rules on the group activity pages as well. Earlier in 3.7.4 version, the user won't be able to find the resources because we couldn't have the allocation rules where you can relax the availability for the resources. So simply, is this similar to the other pages, for example, how shifts and the actions, where you can do the relax allocation rules? On the group activity pages, when you are allocating the resources, you will see these allocation rules, which you can make it relax, and then the resources will be available for the allocation. We have made the enhancement on the case notes as well on the group activity mobile page. Here you can see the history section for the case notes as well, which had been added by other people over here. Also, while doing the group activity attendance, you will see the case note button as well now to add the case note. And once the case note has been added, the icon will turn to green. So that makes sure the user won't be able to add the case note twice. Once the case note has been added, and on the bulk approval page, and if you want to approve the items for the clients, if the case note is added for the client, for example, there are two clients in one group activity, and I have added the case note for this client, and I haven't added the case note for this client, but I have the option to share the case note between the participants. So I'm sharing the case notes, and if I'm not adding a case note for this client, on the approval page, you will be able to see the shared case note under outcome. For the person, I haven't added the case note, but for the person who have I added the case note will be shown over here under the outcome. Now the user can also cancel the participations in bulk as well. So you can go to the participant participation on the group activities, and simply you can select the filter accordingly, and you will have the multiple tick box you can see which are waiting for due date, waiting for approval, you want to cancel. So you can simply click on the icons and then go to cancel participation, and this will cancel all the participations. Now we have added another allowances under the mileages, which is travel. So if any resource has to travel in between the shift action, the user can add the total kilometers the user or the resource have been traveled under the planned break and allowances section. Only the total field is mandatory. So even if you don't want to write to, on, and from sections, you can simply add the total value, which will be calculated in the interface. Now on the action approval page, we are showing the alerts as well. So if there are any active alerts for the clients which need to be considered, we are showing all the active alerts here. And if there are any alerts which are inactive or there are no active alerts, we will just showing no records found. This is the action approval page. Any questions on the previous section? All good, then we'll move further. If anyone have any questions, they can write in the chat box as well. So coming towards the next enhancement, which is the service delivery process. We have made a few enhancements on the funding allocation page. When you go to the client profile and go to the funding allocation, now the user can also select a specific funding type as per the user selection. Also, the funding type is, as you know, is aggregated to the according to the location. So what funding line items is available for the client, it's depend upon if it's aggregated for that location. So now, for example, the client is eligible for 001 funding type, and I want to select the service line selection. You can specifically select the service line items for the client, so that when you are creating any action, only these specific line items will appear, and not all the items will appear. Now the user have the ability to claim transport as well. The option is only available on the approval page and is only available for the service line items which are eligible to be claimed. Once this claim transport option has been selected, the file will be transferred and the interface file will be ready with the reason called tran if it's related to the claim transport. Similarly, another allowances which is claim non face-to-face enhancement has been made over here, and this is also available on the approval page only, and this is only available for the service line items which can be claimed as well. And once this has been approved, the transaction will be attracted to the finance with the reason code NF2F. Now the short notice cancellation, when the client has cancelled due to any reason, so we have a question for the previous section from Joel. Will the claim types be available in the FFS interface or only in the NDIA bulk upload? This will be available in both. The claim type will be available in FFS as well. No worries. So we have another question called the release notes. So you can amend recurring action description, but you only showed us how to amend the recurring action names, which we would already do. How can you amend the description? So under the recurring action, when you will open that particular action, you under the description, you will have the update button as well. So it's the same way you do update the actions. In the similar way, you can amend the or update the description as well. So now coming to the short notice cancellation. Once you cancel any action via short notice cancellation, the system will show the pop-up saying only the eligible services for the short notice cancellation will be processed. So if there are, for example, 3 service line items in one action, for example, let's skip it 2. So there's one and another one is second, this one. This one is eligible to be short notice cancelled as 100%, and this one is not eligible. So now when you do the short notice cancellation, you will be able to short notice cancellation only this one, and this one will be automatically shown as cancelled. This one not be short notice cancelled. And this is how it will appear in the interface. So this is the CSV file when extracted to the finance interface, which will be shown as cancellation type, claim type as cancellation. And this is under the claim admin page, which is the under finance menu on the left hand side menu. This will be shown as short notice cancellation. Only the ones which are eligible for the short notice cancellation. The other ones which are not eligible will be shown as cancelled only. That will not be shown as short notice cancelled. The user can now also short notice cancel the quick charges as well. So simply when you are doing or processing the quick charges, you will see the cancel button here, and this will redirect you the same page for the short notice cancellation. So for the quick charges, you can only claim for the services. And similarly for the group activity participation as well, you can only show them short notice cancel the group activity participation, and you can only claim the services. Any questions? Okay, let's move to the case file enhancement now. Now when the user is trying to create a new case file, we have changed the UI on the page, and we have added a new section to see the comments for allocation and the withdrawal comments on the process intact page. The system will also show if there are any related items to the case file, and you can simply see all the items. You are moving to another new coordinator, you are allocating to the new coordinator. Simply click on submit and you will be redirected to another page. Now in the system, we have the ability to move the case files as well. So the button will be only can be seen by the users who have access to the case file. For example, I'm working in location A and the client is in have an open case file in location A. I will be able to see the button to move the case files. So simply go to the client and you will see this button over here. Once you click on this button, the system will check and will let you know what are the items that are linked to the open case file. For example, when you're moving the case file, you will see all the related items to the case file, all the future actions, and all the future group activity participants, and the items that need to be completed before moving this case file. So you have to make sure you check everything on this page before moving the case file to another program and to select the coordinator. Once you have done this, this is everything which I already explained. The future dates and everything, all the actions will appear and the validations. And all the activities, once you move the case file, will be reallocated to the new case file coordinator and into the new program as well. We have a validation. There's another question. Can you only send case file to the location you have access to? Yes, Joel. So as I said, if I have access to the case file, I will only be able to see the button. If I don't have the access to the case file, I won't be able to see the button for that case file. So we have another validation on the submit button. Once you click on the submit button, the system will also check if the funding type is supported in that location or not. So if the funding type is not supported in that location, you won't be able to move the case file further to that location. So you should just make sure the funding type is available in that location and is supported in that location. So another question is, if I don't have access to the location, I want to send it, can I? No, Joe. If you don't have the access to the location and the case file, you won't be able to move the case file to another program. So you have to ask to the team leader from that location to move the case file. And once this has been submitted, you will see this pop-up screen saying the case file and installed items have been successfully moved to this location, the new location. So these are the things which will happen after moving the case file. The selected location will become the case file location, and all the related items will be automatically allocated to the new coordinator. And all the related items from future action, the item will be unallocated in the new location so that you can again allocate the action. We have done another enhancement on the funding allocation page, which is the booking number field, which is available on the funding allocation page. I'll just quickly show you another slide over here. So this is the booking number field, which is available on the intake page for the client. So to turn this on, the users can do it by themselves. Only the sysadmin, I think, have the access to this funding admin. So once you go to the funding admin page, you go to the funding types. After clicking on funding types, you will be redirected to the funding types. I can quickly show you in the system. Okay, for example, sorry, this is my system, and I go to the funding type option. These are the funding types I will be able to see, and I'm selecting this 004 and go to the conditions. And this is the field which is available for you. So you can do it by yourself if you want to see this as a mandatory field, as an optional field, or if you don't want to see it. This is the funding allocation page where you will see the booking number. So this is the field. You can enter the booking number for the following funding line item. Once you have added any transaction, for example, I'm adding a $5,000, you can add the booking number as well. And this will come up like this. For example, the initial funding of this date with the booking, this booking number have been done with a one-off payment of $5,000. So on the budget page as well, you will have this booking number. So when you are adding any budget for the client, you will see this booking number and you can add, which will be shown on the account statement page as well. This is the account statement page where you will see the booking number and the services provided with that booking number funding. So we have this another section called unknown funding entity. We have added in the allocation page as well. So you can select the debtor details as unknown if you are unaware of who is the debtor. So while creating any action with the funding line item as unknown, you will see all the line items as in red color because the data is unknown. You can still create the actions, but this will come up as in red color, and this will not pass into the interface till you fix the data. So for example, I'm creating any action with the unknown data. I create, I process, and I approve as well. But till the time we go back under this section and select the correct data, you won't be able to see the line item in the interface. So just make sure you go to the data, fix the data, and then approve again, and this will come up in the interface. We have two questions over here. So the first one is, do we have all our past actions, quick logs, notes, and all the information moved to the new case file? Yes, everything related to the old case file, everything will be moved to the new location. Okay, second question is, can the booking number be adding after only at the time of setting up funding? Wendy, you can add the booking number at any time. There is no hard and fast rule that you have to add the booking number in the initiation of the funding. So coming to the report section, now you can see all the services with the unknown data over here. So you have an option to select the report name called services unknown data, where you will be able to see all the items related to unknown data, which have the data set up as unknown. Once you execute the report, you will be able to see all the items over here in the reporting section. Any questions? Okay. So another question is, does it provide the participant name? You mean for the booking number one? Does it provide the participant? Yes, it does provide the participant name as well. If you select the detail view, it's on the left hand over there. You can simply select the participant. If you see my cursor over here, you can simply write in the field and you can select the participant name. No worries, Wendy. Now coming towards the next enhancement, which is the house roster enhancement. These are the business rules which have been done for the house shifts. I will be explaining them in the next slide. Now the user have the ability to link the participants for the house roster and the sessions. For example, I'm creating any house roster or house shift, and I want to add the participants for that shift session. For example, I'm creating the multiple sessions, for example, for 31st, for 1st of September, and the 31st of August. You will see this button over here called link participant. Once you click on this link participant option, you will have the option to see all the participants from that particular location. Just make sure all the participants will appear from the here, should be from the shift location. So you have the ability to select multiple clients at once, and you can select multiple clients which are available to be linked. So once you click that, you click on link participants, and then all the participants which have been selected will be linked to the shift session for the house roster. If there is any client whose name is appearing on the select participant list, but you will see this warning message or the pop-up, sorry, the linking failed as the client's funding duration fall outside the chosen session date. For example, I'm creating the shift session, for example, till 2020, and my funding duration is finishing at 2019. But still, my name is here, but I'm falling outside the duration, so I won't be able to select that participant. You can simply remove the link between the participant and the sessions as well. You can simply go to the participants and then select multiple clients you want to remove the link. And on the right hand side on the bottom of the page, you will see the remove link where you can simply remove the participant. Now on the link participation, we have added another option where you can add the case notes, alerts, and the incident report as well when viewing the participant at one glance as well. So when you are on the you are having any shift, right? And you're going to the shift and going to the mobile page, you will see all the participants which are included in the shift, which are linked to the shifts. And you want to add the case note for that participant, you can simply go and add the case notes from here. We have added a new shift type in roster. When you are creating a new house shift, you can now able to select the shift type as unspecified. So this unspecified is basically to add, for example, sometimes what happens is resources are having their workshops and some group activities by themselves. So you can just create a shift type called unspecified. We have revisited the house roster filters as well. And the logic on this page is if you are selecting a date range over here, it will find the shift groups that have all or at least one session happening in that filter period. For example, I'm selecting a period from 2020 to 2021, 12/6, 12/3. The system will check, even if there is only one session between that period, the shift group will come up over here on this page, because this is just showing the shift groups. For example, there are like 100 sessions, but there is only one session which is falling under this duration, and all the 99 other sessions are outside this duration. The system will still show the shift group. Any questions on the previous section? Looks all good. Let's move to another section called reports. Now we have changed the reporting section as well. So under the financial debtors, earlier we were showing the client name instead of the debtor name. So now we have changed it to the debtor name. Once you have selected the financial debtors, it will show all the debtor's name over here, not the client name anymore. Another amazing enhancements we have done on the management report is to have the execute and export button. So once you have selected the filters for your report, you can simply click on execute and report, and the system will generate a downloaded file for you. I will quickly show this in the system, how it's working. Give me a second. Yeah. I'm going to the management reports. Let's suppose I'm selecting this echo report. I'll select today's date, 24. I'm clicking on execute and export. Now you can see the system hasn't created this one because this is still working in the background, but you already have the exported file over here. So you can simply go, click, and you will be able to see the report. Any questions from the previous section? All good. Let's move further. Coming towards the interface section, now the user have the ability to filter by participant. For example, I just want to create an interface file ready for one specific line. So now when you are selecting the type, for example, I'm selecting mp4 services to run the interface file, I have the option to select the participant. Once you click on the drop-down list, it will show all the participants which have in the system, added in the system. And then you can again do the same test run and the real run accordingly for that particular client. So it will make a file ready for the interface related to just one specific line. Now we have an option to add the send data as well to a third-party provider. So this function basically use the APIs from another system, and we are transferring the data from one system to another system. This can be done on a special request from the client, which need to be further discussed how accordingly it will work. So now you have the ability to send the data to another third-party system. So we have a question over here. Can you start to type participant's name to get a quick match? Could be 1,000 in the system to scroll through. Wendy, currently this is how it is. You don't have the option to select the participant name over here, but in the further release, when we do another enhancements, we will make sure we have this option and we will consider the request. But this is how currently it is. We don't have the option or ability to select or search by name, participant name. So you have to scroll down. All good. So now coming towards another section, we have changed the status of services returned for approval from services rejected from the portal. So when there is any line item or the service line items which has been rejected from the NDI portal, you will see this as a status called service return for approval earlier, but now this has been changed. This is available for all the quick charges actions as well. We have added another column section under the rejection log report, which is available under the management reports, and then you go and select the rejection log. This is just another column we have added so that if there are any items which have been rejected, so the approval comment will show the last approval comment before the item got rejected. So you can actually see what is the reason for the item got rejected and what was the approval comment. We have added another column called paid offline. For example, when you are creating an action has been processed and there is an option called paid on the service line item. So if the client has already paid for that service line item, the file doesn't go through the interface, and in the reports it will be shown as this. So you can simply select yes or no option to see which services are there which the client has already paid. If the service line item hasn't been paid, you can simply click on no and it will show you all the items. We have changed the name of the report resource utilization to the flexible hours report as well. So earlier we do have the report resource utilization report under the management reports. This is the same report, but just the label name is changed, which is now flexible hours report. Under the management reports, now we have added another report called resource travel report, which as we discussed earlier in the plan, break, and losses section, where you can add the travel time for the resource. So this is the report where we have added the 6 new columns, which will show the estimation and the processing value for the travel kilometer report section. So these 3 columns are before the approvals, and these 3 columns is after the processing value. Any questions? Yep, then we'll move further. Another enhancement is the participant details enhancement. So now we have an ability to add the relationship of the clients with their partners and any emergency contacts. This is how it will be shown up in the desktop version. When you click on the participant profile, you will see the option to see the key decision contact details. You can simply click on the add section to add all the contact details over here. Now we have kept this 2 section as it is from the older version. So once you click on add option, you will see this section to add the relation between the participant. You will see you will have different types which are available for you to select. Sorry, there is a question. Has the primary contact checkboxes has gone? I'm not sure what you mean by this, Wendy. Primary contact checkboxes. So earlier we have the option to just simply add the details like this. So now you will see this Okay, so there was checkboxes to indicate who the primary contact is. I will check on this, Wendy, with the within the system, and I will get back to you on this after the training session. No worries. Yeah, so coming towards this section, now the user can simply click on Add, and then they have the option to select the type, select person and relationship details, start date and end date, and make sure to select if the relation is currently active or inactive. Once you have added the details, this will come up like this on the desktop page, where you will see the details has been shown in different color. For example, this is in red color, this is in green color, and this is grayed out. The red color indicates that the status is still active, but the end date has been already passed. For example, I'm adding the end date for today, and this is still active, so will appear in the red color. If the detail is still active and the end date is okay as well, this will come up as green color. And all the inactive relationships will come up as gray out. You can also edit the details via this pen option. This is the mobile view, how it will appear on the mobile view. This is the read-only page, and user won't be able to make any amendments on this page. Now, on the client's overview page, we have added another option to quickly add the quick charges for the clients. For example, I'm logging into the system straight away. I select my clients. I have the option to add the quick charges. And after clicking on this icon, you will be redirected to the quick charges page. Now coming towards another enhancements on the quick charges. This is the business rules, which I will be showing in the next slide. Now the user have the ability to add the start date and the end date for the quick charges as well. So when I go and plan new charge, I will only be able to add charges from now date onwards. The user won't have an ability to add the charges for the past. For example, if I want to try the charges for the last year or the yesterday, I won't be able to select it. The user can also add the timing as well for the quick charges. Similarly, in case for the post-event charge, when I'm trying to create a post-event charge, I will only be able to see all the date options which are from past. I won't be able to select any future option to select. After this section, when you go to the quick charges pages, you will be able to see the start date, start time, end date, and end time for the quick charges you have created. This is the new column we have added. This is the quick charge detail page. Once you go create everything and you go and see the quick charge detail page, you will see the new columns over here, new section over here called start date and end date, the ones you have already added while creating the quick charges. Yeah. And sorry, Wendy, just to answer on your question, yes, the checkboxes has been removed, and the ones in the green color will be the primary contact. Yep. Coming towards the next section. This is under the services searches option, where you go on the left-hand side menu, you go to the searches section and see the services. You can select different filters to see different items. So once you select the type quick log, you will be able to see the due date from and to where the time we have recorded in the quick charges pages. This is available for the actions as well. Any questions? All good, then we'll move further to the mobile enhancement. Now, if there are any work certificates related to any resource, for example, police clearance, any first aid or anything, on the mobile page, when you click on the work certificates, you will be provided a list of all the certificates with the expiry date, reference number, and the issue date. On the My Participant page, now the user have the ability to search for the participant rather than scrolling down and going to the next pages. Now, user can simply search the client by adding the name of the client, and also the user can select how many participants he or she want to see on the page. So you have the ability to select 10, 15, 20 clients at once on the single page. Any questions? Yeah, let's move to the further enhancement, which is a case note enhancement. So we have a validation set for the case note type as SIL, which is spotted, independent, and living records. So in this section, we allow maximum 24 hours only for this type of case notes. You can only add the timing, for example, which should be under 24 hours. If the service provided to is above 24 hours, you will see this warning. This is only for this type of case note, which is the SIL record. Now again, coming to another section on the action page, on the mobile as well, you have the option to attach the document for the progress notes. So when you are adding the progress notes, just make sure here when you are clicking the tick box to add the document, don't wait on this page so that you will think that you have the option to add the attached documents now, but you have to click on the process section first, and then you will be redirected to another page where you can add the attachments. So just tick this box, add the information, and click on process, and then you will be redirected to this page where you can add the attachments. Any questions? Let's coming towards the leave management enhancement. Now the user have the ability to attach the documents for the leave as well. This is the leave request overview page. Once the leave request is created, you can see and have the option to attach the document on the overview page as well as on the leave request creation page. So when you are creating a leave request, a new leave request, once you select the option, you will see, once you click on yes, you will have the ability to attach the documents over here. Once you will see the pop-up message like this, add the supporting documents. Once click on OK, again the attachment section will appear, and you can simply drag and drop as well if you want to add any item, images. We have also added the creation date and the status for the leave request. So for example, if you're creating a leave request and it's been sitting for waiting for approval, we will now show the status of the leave request as well on the leave request overview page. Also, you can add the date and time for the comment entering on the leave request. So when you're adding a comment on the leave request while approving or while processing, the system will create the creation date as well on this section, and the user will get to know when the leave request has been added or what was the comment that was added. So we have another enhancement on the system, which includes the workflow definition menu for online admin and sysadmin people only. So the people who have access to the online admin and sysadmin will be able to see this button. So I'll quickly show you in the system how it works. This is basically to know what buttons can a user can see. For example, let's quickly show you in the system. You go to the sysadmin option. You have this workflow definition.
Or actually, can you just
zoom your screen a bit?
Yes.
Fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is it okay now?
Yes.
Yeah, all good. I'll just make it bit larger. Hope this is good now. Yeah. So basically, we have many questions where the client asks, okay, I'm not able to see this button and this is not working. I should able to see this button. So this page is a bit technical as well, which we are trying to improve day by day to have a user-friendly use case over here. So just trying to explain how it works and the various sections you can use to know which person should see. So let's select I'll select one of the activity which is let's pick actions. I'm picking up here client activity over here. And we have different code statuses, which means in which status the action is. So for example, I'm picking up approved section. Once I clicked on approved, you will see this, I have a timeout in as 32 days, which means once the item is in approved status, there is a timeout for 32 days, in which if the item is not been in the real run or haven't been extracted to the interface, this will be archived. This is how you can check over here. You don't need to worry about these ABS type code. This is a bit technical. And now coming towards which button of which user can see and which access the user have. For example, I'm selecting the activity and then I select in which status the action is. For example, I'm selecting waiting for due date. And then I want to know I have the access of I have the access to the local booking officer. I simply write down local booking officer. So you will see all the local booking officer over here, and these are the buttons which a local booking officer should see. So if you want to see amend, okay, yes. If I'm a local booking officer, I should see the button as amend for those items. If I want to see, okay, approve, nah, the local booking officer doesn't have the option to approve, but the state code is waiting for due date. These three sections under is a bit technical, so only these two sections are easily accessible for the user and can easily be used if you want to see which button is available for which person. Instead of local booking officer, for example, I want to see, okay, waiting for due date. I'm an outlet team leader, which means I'm the location supervisor. So these are the button which the outlet team leader should see. For example, amend process. Yes, all these are the buttons which outlet service team leader will be able to see. Hope this makes sense. If you have any questions, you can simply reach out to us and we can have further explanation on this. We also now support the following shared allowances which are related to the award interpretation. So if anyone is interested to have these turned on, you can simply reach out to us and we can have discuss further. Now the Chromium Edge is the new recommended browser for the VZK's users. So we have done all the regression testing and everything is okay to work with the Chromium Edge browser. Thank you. This was the end of the training session. So if anyone have any questions, they can ask. We will also send this training session via email or what sort of information we can give you through FAQs as well. questions?
We have another session next Wednesday in the afternoon. So feel free to join that session as well if you're interested. Or any of your colleagues who have missed it today, they can come in and join next week.
Thanks, Joel. Thanks, Carl.